Grab your seats, folks, because today we are diving headfirst into the icy realm of the Arctic, where polar bears reign unmatched. These majestic creatures are not just your average marine mammal. These incontestable swimmers are notably one of the Arctic's top predators. With great strength, patience, and excellent adaptability skills, these creatures embody the soul of the frozen wilderness. So buckle up and get ready to be fascinated by the world of these brisky animals because their experience is that of adventure and raw, untamed passion. Join us today as we take a closer look into the lives of these magnificent creatures. Being the largest land carnivore in the world, first things, where do these animals live? It's no surprise that these sea bears live in very cold regions like Canada, Alaska, Russia, Greenland, and Norway. Much of a polar bear's time is spent on sea ice, where they hunt, rest, breed, and care for their young. To protect themselves from this chilly climate, polar bears have a thick fur coat and a substantial layer of fat. Their white fur serves as camouflage against their habitat of snow and ice. But it might come as a surprise to learn that they have black skin. This helps polar bears soak in as much heat as possible from the sun's rays. Next, what do they eat? Since polar bears have a limited diet option, they often feed on seals. They primarily feed on ringed seals, but will also eat bearded seals, harp seals, hooded, and harbor seals when available. Occasionally, they also hunt larger prey species such as walrus, narwhals, and beluga. Oftentimes, polar bears solely rely on their sense of smell to hunt their prey. A polar bear can sniff out a seal on the ice 20 miles or 32 kilometers away and can smell its prey breathing whole in the ice more than half a mile away. Polar bears are fascinating creatures with unique dietary needs that set them apart from the other members of the bear family. Unlike their omnivorous relatives, polar bears are highly carnivorous, with a diet primarily consisting of seal fat. This high-fat diet is essential for their survival in the harsh Arctic environment, where food is often scarce. During the critical period between late April and mid-July, polar bears focus on accumulating most of their yearly fat reserves. This strategic feeding period is important for maintaining their weight and energy levels throughout the lean seasons. Their reliance on seal fat allows them to build up the necessary blubber to insulate against the cold and sustain themselves when hunting is more challenging. When it comes to hunting, polar bears are excellent and skilled predators. They have the upper hand against their prey because of their sharp sense of smell, which makes it extremely easy for them to sniff out their prey. Most times, they will crouch near the ice in complete and utter silence, stalking, watching, and patiently waiting for the right moment to ambush their unsuspecting prey. During this period, the polar bear can patiently wait for hours, even days. And when it spots its prey, the hunting bear creeps stealthily before suddenly rushing to attack. Ever wonder why you don't see polar bears in packs? It's because these animals are solitary in nature, meaning that they rarely form social groups or packs like other bear species for a couple of reasons. One being that the Arctic isn't exactly a buffet. In a world where a hearty meal is a rare catch, sharing is not caring. Solitary living reduces competition for food, increasing individuals' survival chances, meaning more seal for supper. Another reason is that polar bears are territorial animals, with individual bears having large home ranges. Solitary living for these bears helps minimize conflicts over territory and resources. So what does this mean when it comes to mating? Well, despite their unaccompanied nature, polar bears aren't always lone wolves. When it comes to their interactions, they are a lot more sociable than you might think. While polar bears interact during the mating season and when raising cubs, these interactions are temporary. During the breeding season, male polar bears actively seek out females in estrus, and it's not all candlelit sealed dinners. An estrus is a regularly recurring period in female polar bears where the animal is sexually receptive. They often engage in aggressive interactions to establish dominance and secure mating rights. Mating pairs separate once the female is pregnant. Mothers raise their cubs independently. The most constant social interaction occurs between the mother and the cubs. Ever wondered how polar bears communicate? They don't text or tweet. Instead, they have a unique way of sending messages: scent marking. Imagine them leaving bear mail on ice floes, rocks, or other polar landmarks just to say, "This is my turf." It's like leaving scented postcards all over their icy kingdom. These marine mammals are remarkable swimmers and can swim constantly for days at a stretch. They can reach speeds of up to 6 miles per hour in the water. They can swim for long distances and steadily for many hours, allowing them to travel from one piece of ice to another. Their large paws are specially adapted for swimming, with front paws used to paddle through the water and hind legs held flat like rudders. These large paws are crucial for their survival, as they serve multiple purposes. Firstly, they help disperse the bear's weight over deep snow and thin ice, preventing them from falling through. This is essential given that polar bears can weigh up to 1,500 pounds. Additionally, the large size of their paws provides added traction on the ice, which is vital for both stability and movement. Polar bear paws are around 12 inches in size, 4 times the size of human hands. They have thick, black-covered pads with soft papillae, which are dermal bumps that enhance friction between the ice and the paw to prevent slipping. Long hairs dispersed between their toes also help prevent slipping. This traction allows polar bears to run quickly, reaching speeds as fast as 40 kilometers per hour or 25 miles per hour when being chased or charging towards their prey. Their average walking speed is 5.5 kilometers per hour, or 3.4 miles per hour. Adult polar bears are powerful swimmers, using their front paws to swim and their back paws and legs to steer. They can swim in the Arctic waters year-round due to their thick layers, both fur and blubber, which keep them warm in the frigid temperatures. So, where can you see a polar bear just for the fun of it? To see them, you would have to go on a specialized tour to places such as Churchill, Manitoba in Canada, often called the polar bear capital of the world. Another incredible destination is the remote archipelago of Svalbard in Norway, where the stark, icy landscapes will leave you in awe. These specialized tours take you deep into the heart of the Arctic Circle, where you can see the polar bears roaming their natural, frosty habitat. It's a wildlife experience like no other. Instead of the heat of the African sun, you'll be surrounded by the serene beauty of the Arctic, observing these magnificent creatures against a backdrop of ice and snow. Did you know that polar bears cannot be hunted without proper permits? That's right. In the United States, Canada, Russia, and Norway, hunting polar bears is strictly controlled. It's mainly allowed for indigenous communities who depend on it for subsistence, or through highly regulated sport hunting programs. No free-for-all hunting sprees here. In the US, the Marine Mammal Protection Act only permits polar bear hunting for Alaska natives. These hunts are essential for their cultural traditions and daily subsistence. So, no, your average Joe can't just grab a rifle and head north. Over in Canada, things are a bit different. They have quotas and regulations to ensure hunting doesn't hurt the polar bear population. Indigenous communities again play a significant role here. balancing their cultural practices with conservation efforts. Russia also limits hunting primarily to indigenous people with strict quotas. And Norway? Well, Norway goes a step further with a complete ban on hunting polar bears in places like the Svalbard archipelago. It's all about conservation, baby! Now, here's the serious part. Hunting polar bears without the proper permits or breaking these regulations isn't just a bad idea. It's illegal! You could face hefty fines, jail time, and a lifetime ban from any future Arctic adventures. But why hunt when you can admire? These magnificent creatures are best appreciated from a safe distance. Think eco-friendly wildlife tours or even virtual reality experiences. Sadly, these majestic rulers of the Arctic face a powerful threat: extinction. Watching these sea animals in their natural habitat is truly a sight to behold. But things might change drastically if global warming goes unchecked. Shrinking sea ice in the Arctic is putting polar bears in a perilous situation. These magnificent creatures depend on sea ice for hunting seals, their primary food source. As the ice melts, they're forced onto land, far from their meals for extended periods. Picture nearly all the 19 polar bear subpopulations from the icy waters of the Beaufort Sea off Alaska to the vast stretches of the Siberian Arctic, facing the threat of extinction. Prolonged fasting and reduced nursing of cubs by their mothers would result in rapid declines in reproduction and survival rates. If the sea ice continues to vanish, polar bears could become one of the most tragic casualties of climate change. But all this can be prevented by spreading awareness, combating climate change, and supporting conservation programs and research initiatives. With these efforts and many more, we can help protect these amazing creatures for generations to come. So, there you have it. We have come to the end of this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed this video. Until next time!